Hi.
Yeah, welcome back.
Okay, I think I evil-eyed my internet because now it's getting stupid because I've just turned on my
It's okay. I totally understand. So
yeah. What the?
so mine might get weak as well. I don't know. Until now it's good. Mashallah, mashallah.
Okay, here it is. Okay, it's still in the drafts. I thought it was deleted.
It's okay. You can send it even later.
Yeah, because I'm already there. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah. So it's easier if I just need to. I'm just deleting the text because, like I said, the first person I sent it to, I sent it as just as reference, because they asked for my some of my references, so so I just sent them. All right, good.
So,
now
so
it
what
should.
did you do before becoming an English teacher? Which medical section did you work in?
I worked in anesthesia and ICU in the burn and plastic hospital, plastic surgery. شارع الزاوية حروق وتجميل. I worked as anesthesia, and we did a very short term bout in the burn ICU, but back then this was in 2012. Back then they made some major changes and they brought some douchebag, some idiot who had no idea how to treat burn patients, and most of the patients that I saw being admitted ended up dead, right? So it was horrible. It was because the guy that they brought was a regular medical ICU guy, and the burn unit, the burn ICU is completely different. I'm sure from
I know.
Yeah, the whole thing is different. The fluid stuff, the balancing, the all the criteria, and all the renal function, and there are so many intricacies and details which are completely different in a burn ICU from a regular medical ICU. Okay, I think it's sent. You should receive it now. The email. It should be there now. You'll find lots of references, but it would have taken me a long time to just delete them now. So they're in there. But apart from the references, check the texts themselves. There are a number of them. Where is it? The last three. There are 4 articles here that I've written, so you can take a look at those.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So I think let me send you the text I found. Okay, so I don't waste your time talking. So I'll send you the first one. The first writing little summary. Some of the things. We will start with task 2, okay? Because task 2 is the one that has more marks by percent, right? Because 2/3 of your mark is based on task 2 in your writing test, your writing module. So I think this is the one that deserves more attention, and it's the one that takes us more time, and it's the one that has more variation in the question type itself. All right. So here I'm just going to send you the text. Take your time reading this, and then I'll discuss to you. Just because like I said, I haven't prepared as well as I'm supposed to.
Okay, you're gonna send that on my email?
No, now here in the chat.
Oh, okay.
It should appear in the chat. Microsoft Word, IELTS so hype. IELTS so hype. Where is it? Okay. Okay. Let me know when you receive it. And what the hell? Okay. I tried dragging it, but it didn't work. So I'm just going to send it the regular way. Ah, okay. If it doesn't work here, I'll send it on Facebook, okay? In your, here it is.
Message.
Yeah, in the messenger. It said successfully. Can you tell? It should be there in the chat. Can you see it?
Just a minute. In the chat, Zoom chat, I was going to go
Yeah.
to.
No, Zoom chat. Can you see a file in the Zoom chat?
No. I've opened the chat and there's nothing here. I don't know if the mobile is different than. There's nothing here. Do you want me to write something maybe?
No, if so weird. Because if I write something, you get it, right? Do you see?
Yeah. H.
Stupid software. Okay, let me go to Facebook. There you'll get it easily. So let me just go back there. This little text is something I prepared. It has a short summary of the marking criteria, how they mark you on task 2. So I think this is a good start, so we can know how it works, and you know how they'll mark you. So you get to be in the examiner's shoes. So you know how it works. So this helps. And then after that, there's a brief summary of the different question types, okay? So I'd like to read that carefully, and I'm going to look for the rest of the material. So, okay, now I'm opening the messenger. Okay. All right. Got it?
Yeah, sent attachment. Okay.
All right, so
don't know if it, okay.
It should work now. It's on your Facebook.
Yeah. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm just downloading it.
Yeah. But it's opened, right?
Your LinkedIn network will be back soon. What's this? No, what?
Give it a few seconds. It should open.
Okay.
It just needs a second to download, and after that, it opens. Did it open?
No, it didn't.
You're using your phone, right?
Yeah. There's like a link from LinkedIn.com. That's it. That's what's appearing to me right now on the page.
Check this one. This one, I just copied the whole Word link.
Okay.
Is it working?
No, I don't think it is. What's this?
What's your phone? What kind of phone do you have?
Samsung.
Is it
Samsung? A50.
It should open it normally.
الرابط. Download, okay.
Do it again. Just reload it. It should open because it's a regular Word file. I mean, with the first link, the one that says IELTS something.
IELTS Suhaib document.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the one.
Open.
Just keep with it and try keep reloading. I don't know, but it should work.
Aha. Yeah.
Yeah. So
key point. Yeah. Key
that's
points. Writing
all right.
task 2.
Okay. So take your time. Read that. Read the whole text till the end. Okay. And I'm still looking for the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
All right. Good news. I found it.
Okay.
All right. I also found the file I was looking for, so that's good. So this way we don't have to postpone, luckily, today's lesson. Okay, so it's still working good. All right, so the article I sent you, let me switch it. Let me open it also and share the screen so we can have a quick talk. Okay, any notes, any questions, anything you want to comment on what you just read?
No. No, I think, yeah, I mean, most of the questions would be like, just like you wrote in the beginning, like disagree, agree, advance, disadvantage, these types. I don't know. I think the argument thing, if a question would be an argument, would be probably, I think, harder than the others. I don't know.
All right, because we will get a chance to sort of break down each question type and sort of get to what they want exactly. But there's some sort of stuff we need to clear out first, some conceptual ideas. One of them is this, of course, the criteria, very, very important. You need to know how they will mark them, because these are the 4 descriptors, and they're similar to what I showed you yesterday in the one I showed you in the one I showed you about listening, speaking. Remember the descriptors I showed you about speaking? The writing one is almost the same thing, because our goal will be to look for a band score 7. So we need to keep in mind the things they. Okay, I need to share the screen with you. This way, it doesn't flag. Okay, so I'm going to show you this, and remind me to send you a copy of it. IELTS writing 2 criteria. This is the official one from the British Council.
How many words is usually the maximum you can write in task 2?
There is no maximum. There's a minimum. A minimum is 250, but it's usually it's unadvisable to write more than 250. Worst case scenario, 270, maybe 300. Worst case scenario. The reason for this is because you will not be awarded. The thing is, you won't be awarded any extra marks for extra words, but you will be penalized for mistakes that you make in the extra words you use. Do you get how it works? Are you there? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. I think
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You didn't hear me swear or something?
Yes.
Or did you?
Yes, I can hear you.
But did you hear me swear just a second ago?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
No, I didn't.
Okay, good. Thank God. Okay, so it was after the disconnection. All right. Okay. So let me share the screen again, and let me show you what I was looking at. So this is, you can see the descriptors here. Okay, can you see it? So it's almost the same thing we saw yesterday. The one about speaking. Are you there? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Okay, can you hear me now? The internet is getting really bad.
Your voice is...
Is it okay, or is it choppy? Is my voice okay?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Piece of shit. Okay, just a second. Okay, can you hear me now? Hello, hello. Okay, now, can you hear me now? Hello, 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 hello. Hi, hello, hi, hi, hello. Hello, hello.
Yes,
Hello.
I can hear you.
Is it clear? Or is it choppy? Is the sound choppy?
It's in slow motion.
No, not the sound. Is the sound in slow motion?
Now it's clear. Now it's clear. Now it's clear.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
What about
Okay.
the sound? Is it okay, or is it also in slow motion?
No, no, no. Your sound is clear. But your voice is clear. I mean.
All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Good. I think the browser was causing the problem. I just switched it off. All right. So I'll just. Okay. So I think now we're safe. We're in the safe zone. Let me share the screen. All right. You should be able to see this now. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Okay, let me zoom in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me remove this piece of. Okay. All right, finally. All right, now I think you can see the whole page, right?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so let's have a little chat about this. So for us, we don't want to see anything beneath 7, okay? So 7 is our base limit, or this is our baseline. It's our baseline. We don't want to anything below 7. Let's see what are the markers or the little things that will get you a 7, and without them you won't. Let's start with task achievement, okay? So task achievement, you won't get a 7, a minimum of 7 in task achievement unless you address all parts of the task. So keep this in mind, this little piece of all parts of the task, because it's very easy to, by the way, for many candidates, even good candidates, even the 6s and the 6.5s, it's very easy for them to sometimes miss a part of the task. So the question has to be covered extensively. You have to talk about everything in the task, otherwise you won't get 7 in task achievement. This is another problem, the problem of position, clear position. I need to, I think, highlight this. Okay, let's highlight some of the parts with the highlighter pen. Oh, okay. Where is it? Clear position. And these are some of the parts. Maybe this is too thick. All right. So clear position.
Did you write anything or something?
Can you see the red highlighting on clear position?
Yeah.
All right. All parts of the task. The respond, here it is. Extends and supports the main idea.
Yes, I can see the, I can see the red highlight.
All right.
Yeah.
Now these 3 things are crucial. Without these 3 things, you won't get a 7 in task achievement. And let me give you a few details here, and then we'll talk about this more extensively as we get to each point. Now, all parts of the task, because you will notice that the questions, when we get to the question section and how to break down the questions in your task 2, you will notice that most questions are, they're not made of one part. There's always 2, sometimes more parts. They sometimes ask you to talk about the advantages, disadvantages, pros, cons, whatever. But the idea, there's always some kind of more than one part to the task which they want you to cover. And it's very easy under stress to focus too much on one part and ignore the rest of the task. So this will definitely make you lose your 7 in this descriptor in task achievement. This is the first thing. Position. This is something also crucial in task 2. In task 2, most of the questions have a position. Some of them don't. But in the questions that have a position, if it's not clear on which side you're standing in the argument, because most questions, as you've probably seen, are always argumentative. So they give you 2 positions, and you need to defend one position on the expense of the other. So if it's if it's not obvious to the examiner where you're standing and who you're defending, you will not get a 7 in this category. And this brings me to the idea of people who usually talk about the advantages and disadvantages of both sides. And this is one of the things that won't get you a clear position. And I remember before preparing for my, this is something from my personal experience. This was in 2012-13. When I was preparing for the IELTS writing, one of my friends was an old lady. She was an examiner. She was an IELTS examiner for a while. So I told her, okay, would it be okay if I send you some of my writing and you mark it? So she volunteered, and lucky for me, she brought it back. And I was expecting it to be the best piece of literature ever written in the 21st century. And of course, you can imagine the disappointment when it was full of corrections and full of little notes and sticky tags. What do they call them? Sticky notes. The sticky notes, you know. Words. It was full of sticky notes. I remember one of the critiques of my writing was the clear position. She said, your position is not clear. It's hard to tell where you're at in this argument. So it's very, very important you know where to state your position. And that's why most examiners, or IELTS instructors, they advise you to do this in the introduction. This is where you state your position, where you tell you should need to state it clearly. I believe is better, and in this article I will illustrate some of the reasons why. So this is all in the introduction. Now this number 3 is also very, very important. The problem is most people, when they write paragraphs, because we will learn how to write a proper paragraph, what they do is they write randomly like they speak. And this is the biggest mistake a non-native does when they go to English writing. I remember during our CELTA training, one of the first things that our CELTA trainer said, he told us, think of writing, think of English writing and English speaking, think of them as 2 separate languages. And I quite agree with him. I think this is a very good analogy. They are almost 2 different languages. The rules used in writing are completely different from anything used in speaking. In speaking, the goal is communication. In writing, it's not communication. The goal isn't communication. The goal is usually form. There's a certain form that's universally agreed upon, that this is how a paragraph should look like. If you don't have that form, your writing is defective, easy as that. It doesn't matter how communicative you are. So communication is not your goal. You don't need, your writing shouldn't be friendly. It shouldn't be warm. It shouldn't be cool. It shouldn't be any of these things. It should be clear, concise, grammatically correct, has a good vocabulary range. It needs to have things they're looking for. That's why we've started with this band descriptive, because we're going to base our writing, we're going to cater our writing to what they want here. And by the way, what they want here isn't something, I mean, from space. this is more or less what's agreed upon in the academic world. If you go and read any academic journal, whatever field it is, engineering, medicine, psychology, nature, go read any random journal from Nature or from Science, one of these famous scientific journals. You'll find it written in exactly this kind of way. They have this style. So we need to cater our writing to this the description in order to get a good band score. And this is something many candidates don't get. They think they just write and that's it. I've written 250 words. Why do I get 5 each time? And when you check, when you go part by part and you try to look for all the 7 the band 7 descriptors, you don't find any of them. They haven't covered all the task. They don't write in clear paragraphs. They have a problem in this 3rd point, the one I'm talking about. Extends and supports main ideas. This is a paragraphing point. So let's talk a little bit about this. In the English language, you probably know this, but it's so important that I'm just going to bore you and repeat it. In any paragraph, in any paragraph. Okay.
Important.
Yeah, this is important. And here, this is true not just for IELTS writing. Even if you want to write a simple paragraph, but you want it to be powerful and you want it to make your point, is it needs to have 2 things. The 3rd is optional, but it needs to have 2 main things: a clear main idea and good supporting ideas. So let's give a random example of a good paragraph, okay? So a main idea, or what's the definition of a main idea? A main idea is a statement which needs explanation. So if I say, Samsung has been making great technological improvements, full stop. This is actually an example of a good main idea, because there's so much I can write about this little statement or this little sentence. So I can start my paragraph by saying, Samsung has been making giant technological leaps, full stop. And then I start. Since the company's new change, or since the company's inception in 1995, there has been an increased focus on innovation and the possibility of coming up with new products that could change the market for good. The leading, the chairman of the company, Mr. Jong-Hu, has stated that the earnings of the 1st quarter of 1995 were only 1/4 of the company's estimate in 2019. And another team of experts have commented on the increased investment of the company in new ideas and highly skilled employees who are leading this wave of new innovation. And I'm repeating myself because this isn't prepared. I haven't brainstormed, and I'll show you why what I'm doing is a mistake if you do.
You're doing well, though. You're doing well.
But here I'm just speaking off the top of my head, and this is not good enough in writing, by the way, because you need to brainstorm first to have a rough idea of what you're going to talk about. Anyways, you get my point. I'm just giving more and more examples, explaining how and why and
You're
how
explaining
much
the
and
main
when.
idea.
I'm explaining that sentence I started with, which is Samsung is making huge leaps in innovation, full stop. That's the main idea. I need to say everything I can about that sentence, and everything about that sentence should be relevant to it in that paragraph. I shouldn't talk about something unrelated to that main sentence. Even that little part where I kept saying earnings about first quarter, that wasn't relevant, and that would have been a mistake if it had been in writing. So I should say everything related to innovation, give examples of new products, give examples of new lines, the S line with its cameras, the A line, the A category with its internet features, the J category with its talk about something like it's budget friendly, price. You get the idea. So whatever it is, I'm trying to refer to that main sentence. I'm doing everything I can. So when the reader reads this paragraph and he finishes reading it, he comes to the automatic conclusion, I'm really convinced that the main idea is true now. Because the writer did everything in his power or her power to make it logical or to make it stand. Do you get what I mean? This is how every paragraph should be done. And this is where brainstorming comes. Because before you write, we need, I have a file which is about brainstorming and preparing before you write. So this is something that many good candidates, even the sixes, they don't get. And they end up mumbling and jumbling and mixing ideas in a paragraph. The first thing an examiner does when they check a paragraph is they look for a main idea. They actually look for it, literally. They look for it in the paragraph. If they don't find a clear main idea, you're already in trouble. You will not get a 7, impossible. So you need to have a very clear main idea. And this main idea needs to be relevant to your position. So even the sentence I used in this main idea, the one about Samsung has been a leader in innovation, this has to be in harmony with my position, which is Samsung is better than Apple, for example, if it's an argument or if it's a disadvantage. You get the idea. So I can't be talking about innovation in Samsung while my position is that Apple make better phones. That's absurd. Why should I be talking about Barcelona when I'm supporting Real Madrid? The only way I could talk about them, I don't support either of them, but I'm just saying, I don't even watch football, but I'm just saying that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that you need to make sense. And under stress, all kinds of absurd things happen, by the way. You might think, oh, that's dumb, that's stupid. Who would do that? But under stress, good candidates do these kind of things.
Exactly, just like speaking.
Yeah, because you're under the stress of writing is even worse, to be honest. Because with writing, you have so many words you have to write. And the writing process itself is time consuming. It's not like speaking. Speaking isn't that time consuming. It's a matter of feeling a bit shy, intimidated, awkward, nervous, yes. But with writing, you have the time element. Yeah. It's like reading. Time is against you. Just as reading, it's the same problem. You're under a really tight time control, a time limit.
And that's just task 2. So
you
have to finish it to write task 1, right?
That's right. Yeah, and this is just task 2. We're just speaking about task 2. So this is task achievement. So you need to keep these things in mind to get a good band score in task achievement. Now let's talk about coherence and cohesion. I think you've already read a little part about the cohesion and coherence, right? In the first text I sent you. We'll come back to it again. Yeah. So coherence and cohesion is in a way it's related to the next 2. So if your lexical resources are good, if your grammar is good, it's a bit like a result of the next 2 descriptors. But there are a few things they will mark you for. First of all, your organization of ideas. Are you logical? Anybody even without training in logic and philosophy can tell if an idea is logical or not. Remember the Spanish boy's speech at the end when he kept, it's like so harmonic. It makes sense. You're like, duh. I know this all along. You feel like you can automatically relate to on an intellectual level. This is logic. So your writing should give this sense of relief for the examiner when they're reading. Oh, that really does make sense, because you're selling your idea. always think of writing as an advertisement. You're selling your ideas. You want the reader to buy your idea, to be convinced of your idea. This is the function of writing. You're getting people on your side. Because with argumentative writing in the style of task 2 here in IELTS, we're not talking about facts. It's not a fact test. It's an opinion test. You're pulling the reader to your side. You're trying to get them to be convinced of your argument, and you're doing everything you can to convince them of your idea. You want to convince them, you're doing everything you can to say Samsung is better than Apple, even if Apple is better. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying that even if it is.
I'm not an Apple fan anyway. Okay.
For me, I've been using Apple most of the time. I'm using a Samsung now, but I've used, this is the first Android I've used since I've been using phones. But the Apple with their policy, because I don't like changing phones a lot. When I buy I buy, for example, the latest model, I don't want to change it before 5, 6, 7 years. Do you get the idea?
Of course.
And Apple have, with their update policy of slowing down the hardware, slowing down the phone, have made it completely unfair. From a capitalist point of view, it's not unfair. They want you to buy the new model, of course. But for me, I don't like to be pushed this way. So I was like, screw them. Let's use Android. Anyways, so my point here is your information needs to be logical. So you need to be able.
So logical. I need to convince them and treat my writing as an advertisement. I'm actually writing these notes that you're telling me. So yeah.
Yeah. You need to, this will help you get good coherence and cohesion. This is coherence. Now, always think of coherence. Think of the medical term incoherent speech, right? So incoherent speech is a sign of neurological disorder or drunkenness or someone high on drugs or whatever, right? So the first thing, if someone completely drunk or high or has a major stroke or a major trauma to the head, or a very low Glasgow coma scale, the first thing you'll notice is incoherent speech. It's one of them. So it's the same thing with writing. If your writing is incoherent, what's the point? You can never get a good mark if you're incoherent. Incoherent is, it doesn't make sense what you're saying. It's hard to understand. What is your point? Do you get the idea? So coherence is how easy is it to understand your point? The easier it is, the easier you make it to understand your point, the higher you will score in the coherence band score. Cohesion, always think of cohesion as cohesive. A cohesive is like a glue, super glue. So cohesion is your linking. Do you link your words in an interesting way? Do you link your ideas in an interesting way? And here with cohesion, we mean both. The linking your ideas and the grammatical sort of linking. Do you link your sentences well? Because each paragraph shouldn't have less than 5 sentences. How do you link these 5 sentences? Do you say da 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 full stop da 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 full stop da 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 full stop, or do you say comma 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 each time? There is a way you link your ideas. So we will learn this. And there are a number of cohesive devices. So cohesive devices could be like, although, contrast. I call them the and family, the but family, and the so family. So we have 3 families of cohesive devices.
What was the last one?
The so family, result.
Okay.
So with the and family, don't just say and. Be a little more colorful. Say in addition, also, not to mention. You need to make it a little more interesting. The same thing with the but. Instead of saying but. But is a bad word in writing, by the way. You should avoid it at all costs in academic writing. Use however, despite the fact that, in spite of although so you need to be able to use this. And with the so family, use therefore, as a result of that, and you need to vary, you need to use more than one way. So these are cohesive devices. So they will mark you for this. If your range of cohesive devices is good, you will get a 7 here. And here they might tolerate you. It says, although there may be some under or overuse. So they're sort of generous in 7 here. So even if you repeat however more than once, or even if your range is limited, you just use however, and maybe although that, and that's it, and maybe also in addition, and that's it. That's good enough. That's good enough. If you do them properly, that's good. Even if you underuse them, use them, or overuse them, and people do overuse them sometimes. All right. This is the point I was telling you about earlier. The clear central topic within each paragraph. This is the main idea point, because in here they were talking about main idea, and here they were talking about supporting ideas. So the one where they said extends and supports main ideas, here they were discussing the supporting ideas of your paragraph. And here they're talking about a main idea. And you can clearly see here from the writing, it says presents a clear central topic. They didn't say topics. That's why they call it main idea. A common mistake is to write too many. Many candidates don't know the difference between a main idea and a supporting idea. An easy rule of thumb is, if you can explain it in detail, if you can further detail it, further explain it, it's a main idea. If you can't further explain it, it's probably a supporting idea. For example, let's say Renault is a multi-billion-dollar French automobile maker, full stop. And tires haven't changed much since, or no, let's look for another one. I want it about the same topic. It's sales. Renault's sales have increased in
the tire industry.
Have improved. No, this one will be better. I'm trying to look for an example which is better for supporting ideas. It has to be something that can't be further explained easily. The new financial manager implemented an austerity program. Okay, so austerity here means, do you know what austerity means?
A what?
Austerity, I'll write it. Austerity. Austerity is like cuts in payments. They're trying to save money. So they fire employees, they cut down on spending. So an austerity plan is like reducing the budget of something. تقشف in Arabic.
Yeah.
So you could say the new financial manager implemented an austerity plan starting from 2018. I can't explain this more. I can't go into the reasons why he did it. The reasons why he did it led to the main idea, which is now that the company is a multi-billion-dollar automobile maker. You get the idea? So the austerity sentence is much better as a supporting idea, because it's like a sub part in the whole picture. But the first sentence, that the company, the Renault company, is a multi-billion-dollar automobile maker, there's so much you can talk about here. How it's a multi-billion-dollar automobile industry, how this happened, when did this start, how did the company start, what did they do to get there? Maybe they improved some kind of new technology in engines. Maybe they fired some people. Maybe they're this new austerity plan to cut down on spending. Talk about the reasons. I need to explain why the company is a multi-billion-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar automobile maker.
Those reasons are supporting your idea.
Exactly.
Your main idea.
Yeah, the austerity is one of the reasons why it's a multi-billion-dollar. Do you get the idea? It's not the other way around. So you need to in each paragraph you shouldn't mix. You shouldn't mix ideas. Stick with one main idea. And like I said, this main idea should support your position. After we do this, I'm going to show you some model answers. They're not mine, but they clearly demonstrate these points. And when you see them, you'll be, there's the position. There's the main idea. There's the support. It will be so fun to read it because the descriptors are all in front of you. And this is where the irony is, that level 9, the band 9 writing is the easiest to read, the hardest to write, the easiest to read. You get the idea? Because it's written in such a reader-friendly way. The more reader-friendly your writing is, the higher the band score is. It's a bit like this. And that's the irony, because the harder it is to write, the easier it is going to be for the reader to read. And this is our goal, all right? So now we've covered task achievement, how they mark you for task achievement, coherence, and cohesion. We agreed that coherence is how easy is it to understand your writing. Cohesion is your linking. Are you able to link your ideas in a reader-friendly way, or is it difficult to follow your line of thought? This is a coherence and cohesion. Lexical resource, I think it's sort of clear. It's the same as spelling. It's the same as speaking. There isn't much difference here. The thing is, sufficient range. This is what they want. They're not asking for too much here in band 7. Sufficient range for an academic piece. But even this can prove to be difficult, because like I said, written English is a completely different story from spoken English. Style, register, tone, there are so many other factors that come into writing. That's why the first thing I advise advanced students in your level and people who are hoping to get 7 and more, you need to really read a lot. It's boring, and you need to read non-fiction. Fiction doesn't count. Fiction is narrative. Fiction is narrative English, and it's another thing. I enjoy fiction, by the way, but it's not going to help you with IELTS, because IELTS is written in a sort of formulaic kind of way, in a formula that's it's easy to predict. It's not very pleasurable to read, but this is how it is. It's meant to state opinions or facts, so you need to know how it's written. So you need to read articles, non-fiction. You need to read journals. You need to read this kind of thing. Uses some less common lexical terms with some awareness. Collocation. And some less common lexical terms. So here they're talking about things which are specific for writing, which you wouldn't use in writing, which you wouldn't use in speaking. So you need to know this. And they're willing to tolerate some spelling errors, problems with word choice, word formation. Fine, no problem. Okay? But you do need to have good range. You need to be able to use less common terms, and your collocation needs to be good. You need to be able to collocate well. Okay. Now, with grammatical range and accuracy, we'll talk about complex structures. There's a separate sheet just about complex structures. You'll know what this means. Frequent error-free sentences. So your sentences need to be error-free. And these are general points: good grammar and punctuation. And they're willing to tolerate a few errors, no problem. So the two things we need to really focus on.
So that's band 7 at the 8.
That's band 7. If you cover this,
that's band 7. Yeah. So like you'll have, they're allowing a few mistakes.
Yeah. They're allowing few mistakes. With a few mistakes, you can still score a 7. So this is our baseline. That's why I started with 7. This is our minimum. We need to have this and more. But this is our worst case scenario. It shouldn't be any less than this. So the very last point I want to make here with the grammatical range and accuracy is this idea of complex structures. Like I said, it's a little specific. We'll see how it's done. And frequent error-free sentences. I think this should be obvious. I mean, because most of the time, not almost all of the time, you'll be using the present simple tense. Because if you're stating an opinion, well, what other tense are you going to use? Almost 90% of the text is in present simple. You're stating either an opinion or a fact. You're counting data. You're doing something. It's in present simple. So there is no, you don't, in my opinion, candidates don't really have an excuse to make too many writing, too many grammatical problems. That's the idea. Okay. Okay, so now before we move on, I want to show you some model answers. Hello, are you there? Welcome back.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry.
Okay, good. You're back.
Oh God. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here, but
Hello.
hello. I think my camera is jammed. So, but can
Hello.
you hear? Hello, I can hear you. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello. Is it
Hi.
from me or from you this time?
I think it's from me this time. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Fuck you.